Okay, everyone. Well, first of all, thank you all for watching another episode of Simply Inspired. And today we've got a story that is a little different. It's a very, very amazing story. Today we're going to be telling the story of Dean and Kayleigh, their relationship together, the way they support each other. And really, this is a story that I don't think is heard often enough. As many people know, Dean is a very well-known fighter in his community, got his bare knuckle debut coming up in June, and has got some very, very exciting things happening. And as I have always said, you know, behind every great man is a great woman. So that's one side of the story to be told, but their relationship goes both ways. Now, for anyone who's watched my previous interview with Dean, you will have heard about some of the substance abuse, suicide attempt, street fights, you know, a lot of things that he's overcome to get where he is in his life. Big part of that thanks to Kayleigh's help. But as I've said, the way they support each other. Want to put something good in the world with this interview because there's a lot of toxic stuff on the internet about relationships and love and that type of thing. And as I said, you know, the inside track of a fighting man and the love of his life, story that hasn't been told. So that's enough of me talking about you guys in third person, but everyone watching, stay tuned. And guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm actually super grateful for this. So thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, it's okay. I mean, you know, it's just I'm always super grateful when people take time out of their day. And obviously, you know, you've got a family and you've got all sorts of things you're doing with the gym and you're busy.
Yeah.
So am I, but thank you anyway. So getting into it from the beginning, I suppose, with this, we have to start with how you guys first met. Now, as I said at the beginning, this isn't a question for one of you or the other. If you both want to talk about it, if one of you wants to answer, super cool. But how did you first meet? Where did it all start for you both?
I'm gonna let her tell you for what. Go on.
Well, we met over TikTok. We were both going through a rough time. I was struggling, he was struggling. And I was doing a night shift the one night and I just popped up on his live. We started speaking and then he messaged me straight after it. We started speaking more. He was telling me about what he was going through. I was telling him what I was going through. And we just developed a friendship from there.
And it grew into something like this, didn't it? And now we've obviously got the boy together, like, and obviously, it's mad how we become. I didn't think it'd end up like that, because obviously she's not exactly ugly. She's a pretty girl, like, you know, not being big-headed. She's very pretty in my eyes, and I didn't think I'd stand a chance, but yeah, unfortunately I did. Well, not unfortunately, but yeah, you forget what I'm saying.
So Dean, you know, you feel that you're punching in more ways than one.
I'm definitely punching more than enough punches. She's stunning.
Yeah, fair enough. And we'll talk about the family side of things in a minute as well, because obviously I forgot to give a shout out to the little one at the beginning, but we'll touch on that. So friends first. Okay, now this is something that I actually think is really important to mention, guys, for other people, because a lot of the best relationships, even with mates of mine and everything like that, you know, the best relationships start off as friends. But a lot of people nowadays see that as a negative thing. Say, oh, you don't want to be friend zone, you don't want to have this, that, and the other. Personally, I think that's a lot of BS, you know. I mean, you want to start off as friends, go from there. How long were you friends for before it started to get a little bit more romantic? You know, one of you knew you had feelings for the other one. How long was that roughly?
Basically, when we were friends, I kind of had feelings for them. Obviously, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get rejected. So it took easy over a month before we actually both said to each other, I mean, no, it's something out for us. It was either over a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gotta be over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And who said, so if you don't mind me asking, because like I always say to people, by the way, when we're doing interviews like this, it is some personal stuff, you know what I mean? And I know you've both agreed to say about it, but I always sometimes think twice. So if you don't mind me asking, who said about having feelings for who first?
It was me, believe it or not, me. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I had to tell her. It was doing my head in the end, but not tell her. It was frightening me because it's just, I don't know, I just couldn't keep it in anymore. And then one night we was talking, I guess, on the phone, And I blurted out saying, I really like you. And then she said, oh, I've liked you as well. And she just said, I just don't want to say. I was like, I felt the same. So that's how we clicked from there then onwards. That's how it becomes something properly then.
Something more, yeah.
Mm.
And were you both like during this time? Were you mainly messaging and all that, and instead of meeting up or whatever?
Yeah.
You're
Obviously, because of North Wales, and I was in South Wales at the time,
right, yeah,
it was video calls
right,
and phone calls, texts. And then obviously stuff happened in South Wales and me. I just wanted to change of life, didn't you? Like I told you on the preview. Well, I said, can I come up to see you? She said, yeah, come up. And I never went home. I come up here and I just stayed. I've been here 2 years now.
Oh, that is a beautiful story so far, guys.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Now, obviously, a few of these questions I'm throwing out there, and like I say, whoever wants to answer. But I'd like to get both sides of this, and it is a little bit personal. So, obviously, Dean, at one point in time, you had to explain to Kayleigh about some of the things that you've been through in your life, which can't have been an easy thing to do. But at the same time, one of the most beautiful things about any good relationship is being understood, feeling like somebody knows you better than anybody else. Obviously, Kayleigh, you mentioned as well that you had a few struggles and things when you first met. Now, you can talk about that as much or as little as you want. I really don't mind. It'd be good to touch on it, though, because of the way you both helped each other. So I don't mind who wants to go first. But basically, the question is just when you started explaining to each other about some difficult stuff in your backgrounds, and you obviously both understood each other and have helped each other from there. How did that first sort of come up, type of thing? Let's start there.
Well, it was basically after, we said that we liked each other. He was like, I'm going to be totally upfront with you. This, and this has happened. And obviously at the time, I was explaining to him my struggles, what I was going through. I'd not long come out of a very, very toxic relationship. So I was going through hell with that. So obviously he was there for me just as much as I was there for him.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
he became my shoulder to lean on.
Pushed each other forward, didn't we, really?
Yeah. Makes sense. So so you actually met at a time when you both needed each other. That's a beautiful thing, that is.
Something that was bad at the time becoming to good. That's all I see it as.
Yeah.
It was just completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Where we both weren't looking for something.
No.
Where something come out of it.
Yeah. It just grew and grew and grew, and it's just too strong now to even describe. To be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's what comes over from both of you now, and it's a funny thing because even being on Zoom and everything, and even speaking with the distance, like south to north and all that, I can feel the love. I can physically, and I promise I'm not being cheesy or anything. I can really feel it. So, very, very special thing. Okay, so you both needed each other. You met up. After you explained about the feelings, you talked about this. So one of the things I think that is really cool is about supporting each other's dreams and goals. Obviously, I mean, that's something that, again, a lot of people don't have. A lot of people probably want to have. Dean, starting with yourself, but Kayleigh, I need you to answer this as well, is obviously how you support him with the boxing and with, coming in, especially something like bare knuckle boxing. I know this might be moving forward in time a little bit with this, but I think that side of it is something people will want to hear about, because obviously, Dean, it's got to be great to have a support, but Kayleigh, it's got to be nerve-wracking for you, right? That he wants to get in there and go to war with somebody, the man you love. So how do you, Kayleigh, start with you for this one, if that's okay. How do you actually handle that? I mean, how do you find peace? I know it's his dream, but with the nerve-wracking side of it, if you get what I mean with this.
I actually don't feel nervous at all. Like, I watch him train. I'm actually really confident in him. Yeah. Like, even sparring tonight, I had no worries watching him because I know what he's capable of and I know what he can do.
Yeah.
So I'm confident in him, really confident.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So no nerves at all. That's really cool. I love that. I thought you should be, because obviously he puts in the work and everything. But I have been to quite a few actually, like boxing events and things where sometimes the women of the fighters, they're actually crying and they're actually like really, do you know what I mean, really worked up. So I was just curious about that dynamic. And obviously, Dean, from your point of view, how she supports your dream and how you've obviously how you've personally bounced back from everything, Kayleigh, how you've bounced back from what you've been through as well. Absolutely amazing for both of you, and nothing to do with the interview, but I'm just personally really happy for both of you because you've come out with these dark times, and obviously there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So I forgot what I was even asking now. Oh yeah, but Dean, from your side of it, how she
Yeah.
supports your dream and how Kayleigh, encourages you and is the wind beneath your wings, which really came over to me in our interview the other day.
Yeah.
Just describe that in your own words, if you can, please, mate.
It's amazing because like I've never had a support in a relationship with boxing before, like in the past. The past ones would tell me not to go training. The past ones would miss a meal for me. So not that they got to cook for me, but we got to do something else. But with her, I've got to do these things. If I'm up late, she's waking me up. Do you know what I mean? So she's got my back no matter what. Do you know what I mean? For instance, if it's a Saturday, she still wake me up to go for a run. Do you know what I mean? Because she knows I gotta do it. So she knows what. Do you know what I mean? That's her choice. I'm doing it, but she does it because she loves the fact that I'm bettering myself, and it's nice to have somebody like that around me that's pushing me to gain my success. What I've always wanted to do. She's the main reason why I'm here now to this point of where I am now. Because without her giving me the confidence, without her, I don't think I'd be doing it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's just amazing. Like, do you know how she can push me when no one's even ever tried in the past. Obviously, don't get me wrong. My parents did years ago when I was in the amateur days, but it's not the same as what she's doing. Do you know what I mean? She's pushing me to the limit, and I don't mean like. As in training, I mean, she's pushing me to the limits where in the day, like, she's like, don't be late. Don't be late for this. Come on, hurry up. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be late. Get out. Go and do it. So, I got every support of her. Do you know what I mean? And I can't fault the girl any more than that. She is the main support of this journey of mine. And she is. And I can't thank her enough. And she knows that. Deeply down, like, and it gets you hear him, like, because I've never had this off anything in any relationship before, never. Do you mean? And it means a lot to me. Like, it really does. It breaks me. Do you mean? It melts me in the morning. It not breaks, but melts me. But,
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, how you're there for each other in that way. It's just this.
yeah.
It's powerful. I mean, I don't think I can say anything that does it justice, to be honest. Even though I got the way with words that I have, don't think I can do it justice. I just you can feel it just from sitting in both of your presence. And again,
But,
100% sincere with that. I mean, I'm just saying it how it is,
but as you can see now, my nose is a bit swollen. Right? I had a shot tonight. First thing she done, got the ice out. There's the ice. Quick, get it on your face. You got a podcast. I was like, all right. Just chucking ice on my face, She's there doing it. I don't even need to ask to get the ice. She's already doing it. She knows, doing. It's amazing.
Absolutely. The little things, they add up to be the big things in the end, don't they? That's the little things you do for each other, That's the way I can put it. So, obviously, another thing to talk about here, guys, is I'd imagine you're both busy people because obviously Dean, you're training and you message me with your day. I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You're all over the place like me.
Oh.
And Kayleigh, I mean, I don't know as much about what you do. You can talk to us about that in a moment. But really the question here is how you're both prioritizing time. Now, obviously, you prioritize a lot of time for each other. But every question I'm asking here, like I say, it's the same as what I do with my sports ones, is to give back the inspiration, to give back what's possible. And we live in a world now that's getting busier and busier all the time. So making quality time for each other is obviously something you do a lot. I don't mind again who wants to answer this first, but how do you do that when things are getting manic? You just say, right, okay, we need to put the brakes on. We need to have a little bit of quiet time, just us to talk, just to do whatever. I would say to eat and put your feet up, but of course with dealing with your dieting and everything, then it's not that easy. But that type of thing, just have your quiet time together. If you get what I mean with this one.
with the baby.
Yeah,
well.
well, yeah, with the kids, because obviously I'm non-stop school run, kids,
Yeah.
you know, he's training, doing whatever he does. So we really do get to spend just us time. So when we actually manage to, you know, it's just
It's more,
food,
yeah, it's more,
watch a film,
yeah,
like just the simple things. I
yeah.
think.
It's just
Yeah.
basically eat, films, or walks, or jogs. When I'm jogging, she's walking.
Yeah.
That's another.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But I mean, no, it's just, you know, I mean, again, I mean it in a nice way because it's testament to how strong your connection is. Again, as I've been saying, you can feel that just sitting here now. So, yeah, I think it's something a lot of people will benefit from. You know, how you maintain that in a busy world. Obviously, with the kids, now you guys are going to have to guide me a little bit on this. Obviously, the little baby Taff. So you know
Okay.
that's family, the ultimate blessing. How many kids have you got between you guys? I mean, I'm sorry because I feel weird
Yeah.
asking personal questions sometimes. I'm just going to ask. Just go ahead.
She has a daughter. Obviously, we got a boy together.
Yeah.
I've got 2 girls in South Wales. And yeah,
So yeah, four between.
four between us.
Yeah, I keep you on your toes, mind you.
Yeah, and it ain't gonna stop there. I will say that. So we do want a few young Taffs, don't we? If not a little Kayleighs, but mostly Taffs. Look after the girls. We got 3 girls, so we might as well get another 3 boys, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I can see an update of this. This is
Possible, but it can be. Yes, it's working on it. Yeah. Right.
That's a work in progress. Well, fair enough. Well, like family, you know, it's the ultimate blessing in life. So, well, there's a few things we can talk about with that, but one, I just think people will find it fun to hear about. Um, with your little baby getting older, boxing, no boxing, you know, if or for that matter, if any of your kids want to give it a try, what are your thoughts on Dina's? Well, it's one more for you, but on them following in your footsteps type of thing.
My footsteps. If he wants to do boxing, which I think, to be honest with you, the way he is now, he's in front of us, but now he's there with his hands now. He does it all the time. He sits there and watches boxing with me. He's only 3 months old. My girl, I took my daughter, my oldest one. She's done it for a week. She didn't want to know.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Well, okay, so we've talked about some good stuff so far, guys. And I know this is the thing. I mean, we're not really talking about the exact timeline of your relationship, but we're talking about the broad topics, which is what I had in mind, really. Now, there's another thing that I think is important in the modern world that we live in, okay? And obviously, it's not going to be a problem for you guys, what I'm about to say, but I still think it's relevant to talk about it. And that is obviously the concept of loyalty and staying loyal to each other. Now, again, with this, I can tell it's not an issue. It's not going to be an issue. So I'm not saying anything that's getting personal like that. But I'm just saying, in the age that we live in, it is something that people think about. It is a concern a lot of people have. Even when I have some of the you know, big name fighters on the show, and British champion, European champion, all this type of thing, they will tell you, you know, they have to take steps to their social media to lock it down. Only certain people can contact them, only certain types of things, or whatever works for that person to keep the trust there, if you get what I mean. And obviously, you guys trust each other completely. I can feel that. You don't even have to look. But nonetheless, if you don't mind me asking, I'd be curious to get into that dynamic for both of you. I don't mind who wants to answer this. I think most of the questions I'm just going to be throwing out there, to be honest, at this stage. Whoever wants to answer it first. But yeah, in your own words, whoever wants to go first with that one, please.
Go on.
I just think if it's going to happen, really, it's going to happen. You can't have any control over someone's actions.
No.
You know, you just got to trust them the best that you can, that they're not going to do anything, you know, to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically the same thing for me. Do you mean if it happened, it happened. Do you mean that'll be the end of things, wouldn't it? So I don't, like, on my personal opinion of it, I wouldn't want to risk losing them while that. So
absolutely. I mean, it sounds kind of obvious, but part of the reason I'm asking that is because of the depth of trust that I can feel that you do have, you know. So rather than putting it on a downer, again, I can just feel that, and I think
Yeah.
so. Again, it's a lesson for people how to maintain that, especially in this in this day and age, you know. So let's get into a couple of other things. Oh, I meant to go back actually to the dieting thing, even though it's a little bit more of a nitty gritty type of thing. But Dean, you've got to cut weight and everything. And
Yeah.
what is the dynamic? Because obviously, you know, you guys getting a takeaway and putting your feet up, and
Oh,
that type of thing, that goes out the window for a lot of time. I guess in any given year or whatever. So,
yeah.
how do you manage keeping together, but sort of making it interesting type of thing?
Well, basically, obviously when I'm dieting for like if I got cut the weight, I do have a cheat. We have like a Chinese or whatever it is, but it'll be on a day that I'm not doing nothing. And then I'll back on, say for instance on a Sunday, we'll have a cheat. And then on a Monday, I work that off. So I'm definitely going to cut that weight. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, when you're doing meal preps and all that type of stuff, of course, who does most of the cooking? And go on, yeah, I thought. Yes,
I do cook steak. I cook a steak for us. So I will say.
Yeah, that's a nice bonus, man. I mean, the steak goes a long way. And so, Kayleigh, you're preparing all of the nutrition and all that type of thing for it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, very, very cool. Do you stick to the same recipes then, guys, or do you sort of mix it up and try different healthy stuff, but like different stuff?
Yeah, mix and match.
I've killed him off a little bit with spice a few times.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
But I can't do spice. What did you give me one day?
No, I made the chicken stir fry, and there was little bits of ginger in it.
Finish me. My mouth was on fire. I couldn't. I said, "What have you put in here?" She said, "Nothing." I said, "There's something spicy in here." She said, "Well, what is that?" I said, "This." Yeah, put it in my mouth. And she said, "That's ginger." And I said, "That's what's killing me off." I said, "My mouth is killing me. Burning, fire." I don't like spice, but that was enough.
Yeah, that was enough. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I've even had some spice. It's so hot in the past from Indian places, and that it's got physical burns. You know, I've literally,
Yeah.
I've had literal physical burns from it. So I get where you're coming from with that one. Not nice. I do know a few fighters who swear by spice helping them with the weight loss and stuff.
It does work.
It's brutal as hell, man. I could be.
Yeah, but it makes you sweat. So when you sweat, you lose weight, don't you? So that's why some of them do it. But I'm not interested. I'll go in the sauna. I'll go in the sauna for a half hour, and then I'll drink water load. That's my diet, and it works for me. That's me. No hot chilies, curries. I'm right. I'll just go in the sauna for half hour, and jog with a bag on. That's my other one.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be giving my tips out, lads and girls, but yeah, but that's what I do to cut weight.
Yeah, well, that's okay. A couple of tips, you know. I mean, as long as I'd never want you to give anything away that anybody could use if your opponent hears it or something. But like with little tips, it's good, and it's good for the youngsters as well, and everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise for a youngster to go and do the bag work with a black bag on. I wouldn't advise that
because it's still growing in there.
Yeah. I've done it for years now, so I'm quite used to it. But I wouldn't advise somebody new to it. It's like wearing a sweatsuit. Obviously, even that. So I mean, if you're not used to it, start a little bit. Don't go doing as much as me. For instance, like I could go for an hour run with a sweat on, and I'll be fine. I'm used to it. If somebody that's new into it, just go for 20 minutes. Don't go. Yeah, quite dangerous, I think. Dehydrating and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it is something you hear a lot about, and especially when I speak to some of the fighters from like more the old school type of thing, and the way they used to cut weight compared to how we do it now as well. I'm surprised some of those guys made it out of there. Anyway, that's another thing. But Kayleigh, question for you. Obviously, when you first got together and everything, you would have known about Dean's boxing and everything. And I meant to ask this earlier, and I know you have total confidence in him, but I'm just curious, when he said it's going to be bare knuckle boxing instead of boxing like with gloves, did that raise an eyebrow with you at all, or was it just like cool, whatever you want to do, and it was sort of more like that?
No, it actually didn't surprise me. Didn't surprise me at all.
She's the one who actually said, "Yeah, go for it." Then,
yeah.
But you mean because if it wasn't for her saying that, I wouldn't have yeah, I wouldn't have done it because I didn't want to do something she wouldn't. Not because she didn't want me to. It's the fact of I got kids now. I got her now. I got things to like my health. If I can still get out now, can I? Let's be honest. But because she's happy enough for me to do it, and she's more than enough to for instance, if I got badly injured now and I lost sight, she knows this. She knows the risks. I've already explained this, right?
Yeah.
She's willing to take those risks, same as me. So
Like, obviously, it does raise a few eyebrows. Like, you say, oh, my partner does bare knuckle boxing, but it's like, yeah, but it's a passion. It's exactly the same as gloves. You just bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Even with gloves, there's still risks to it.
Of course it is.
Oh, I know.
If to answer her, it's worse with gloves. Your brain rattles with the gloves. Do you know what I mean? In years time, it can damage it. With bare knuckle, it's just a solid punch. It can obviously you can have the marks. Don't get me wrong. You can lose an eye. You can obviously go blind, but I'd rather go blind than brain dead. That's my opinion of it. Anyway. I'm not saying I want to go blind, but yeah, there we go.
I think there's just risks to everything, isn't there? So
Yeah,
it's just whatever you're passionate about. Just go for it.
yeah,
It's worth a try, isn't
of
it?
course.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know what they say, we only regret the chances we didn't take in the end. And yeah, I mean, with the bare knuckle, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get where you're coming from, guys, but both of you, because people think it's worse because of the cuts and the blood and it sort of looks worse. But really, people come out of there, broken hands is obviously a common one, and the cuts, but I mean, it's not actually doing as much inside damage. As you know, I mean, so anyway, but we all believe in you, Dean, 110%, like
yeah.
Kayleigh was saying with the confidence. So when I'm talking about risks and stuff, I'm not talking about it like that. It's just cool to get the vibe of this. Now, another thing to touch on here, guys, is Kayleigh, I know obviously you're going to be quite flat out with the kids and everything, as you mentioned, in the school run and everything, but give you more of a chance to speak about this. You're supporting him with his dreams, he's supporting you in other ways and things like that. But in terms of like your dreams for the future and things like that, is there anything else like that you're working on, maybe when the little one's a little bit older, things you'd like to do, getting more involved in the training or doing your own business or doing something? I mean, I have no idea where this is going to go. I just wanted to ask you, because this side of it's a mystery to me. I don't know much about you in this way. So I just wanted to give you the chance to say if that type of support goes the other way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. I'm unsure yet. Obviously I'm on maternity leave because I am a carer. So I've wanted to do my paramedics training for a while now. So I think when the kids are older, when I have more time on my hands, maybe start looking into that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I knew there was something there, you see. I just had the vibe. There was something in the back of your mind. And caring for people. That's lovely. That's lovely work to be doing. So I hope you do that when the time is right anyway, for what it's worth. Yeah, for what it's worth, But again, and another thing, Kayleigh, another one for you. Obviously, you mentioned about coming out of a very toxic relationship before. Now, I don't really want to sort of delve into any of that unless you want to, because with my interviews, it's always focusing on the positives, focusing on things people have overcome and all that. But I wanted to ask you as well, in terms of like feeling safe in a relationship with Dean, which you obviously do. It's going to be an important thing. I mean, it's important. It's important for women anyway, but it's going to be an important thing given your background. Now, with this, it's a very open question, so I don't mind where you want to go with that, but obviously the safety, the protection and the trust coming out of basically a type of trauma, like he's had his traumas with the suicide thing and the drugs and some brutal stuff to come back from, and so have you. And we've touched on obviously his side of it a bit, but on your side of it a bit, coming into the relationship, I was going slightly back to the earlier days now and feeling safe, feeling secure. I don't mind where you go with this one, but I just wanted to touch on that subject mainly because I feel there's a lot of women out there who are going to relate to this. There's a lot of people who've been through the same thing or going through the same thing right now, and they think, okay, can I trust again? Can I, sort of open myself up again and trust somebody? Is that possible? Am I the only one going through this? And so on and so on. This is a type of thing that goes through people's heads because it's quite a lonely experience as well, going through that type of relationship, or it can be. So take that whatever you want to go, but I was just curious to get your thoughts on that, if that's okay.
Yeah, well, It takes some getting used to, obviously, coming out of, a toxic relationship and then going into something good, really. Like, it takes a lot of getting used to, some things in the back of your head, you still really question, intentions, are you being gaslighted, is it love bombing, things like that. So you've just got to really take it where it is, be grateful for it, take any small amount of good from it. If you need help, find someone to talk to your partner, talk to someone, if you are struggling with it, just take a day at a time, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It's good to give that a mention because I mean, I don't know. Like personally, the thing I've personally experienced with people I know and things like that is there's a lot of things, and this is for both of you now. Like Kayleigh, with what you've been through, Dean, with what you've been through. A lot of people going through stuff at the time they're going through it. They think that they're the only one going through it. Do you know what I mean? You think, oh, I'm not going to be able to share this. Nobody's going to understand this. There's things I've been through in my own life that are like that, and obviously when people do understand it, it's a massive relief. So as well as the way you've helped each other, I hope that by putting this out there, it breaks down some of those barriers. Do you know what I mean? And it makes people feel like,
Yeah.
well, actually, other people have got through it and I can too, I mean, that's the biggest reason why I do these, even with fighters and everything anyway, so that's really cool. So, okay, so moving into a few other bits and pieces here to touch on. Nice fun one for you guys. Dean, you win a debut, which I believe you will do in June. How are you going to celebrate? How are you going to
I'm
celebrate?
more happy after going away. I'm positive on that one. After what I've been seeing lately, not going to say too much, but yeah, I've got us in the bag. I know I have.
Absolutely, I agree. So the win, I mean, for you, it's already real in your mind, obviously. It's always a sign because I tell you what, all of the world champions, all the people I work with, people who won the most stuff, they all do that. The win has already happened.
Yeah.
Before it's happened, if you get what I mean. Anyway, but never mind about that. But in terms of like how you're going to celebrate, guys, do you have any plans of what you're going to do after such a big achievement as that? Or is it too far? It might be too far away.
Yeah, for me, celebrating after this is coming home to my boy safe and well. That's one. And and this might sound nothing, but having a photo of me and my boy after it, and obviously spending that the rest of the night then celebrating with my family. That's all I don't want no fancy holiday. I don't want no big night out. But was basically most of them do. I just want to return to my family safe and sound. And the same goes for Luke as well, if he's watching this as well. Go home with your family and safe. That's all I want. And my kids.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
That's all I want, honestly. I just like I said to you weekly, I'm on the other podcast. The party in life for me, that's gone. Do you mean going out after the fight is the worst thing you can ever do? It's dangerous, for starters. And I will say this, the boys that does it, boys, you be careful because you could take a few bangs to the head. You could do some substances, what some people do. I'm not saying who, but drink as well causes it. You can end up in hospital over there and end up losing your life. And I'm not really willing to put that through my kids, my partner. Kids can lose a dad and she can lose a partner because of my stupidity going after a fight, going up and getting drunk. Really, I'm not going to do that. No chance. So my celebration is come home to my family, like I said, enjoy the rest of the night. Maybe I might have a few cuts and bruises, but the main thing is I get to sit there and relax like this now, have a nice big Chinese or something, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's. I thought that, to be honest, I thought that whoever was going to answer that, I thought you might say time together, something simple. I knew it wasn't going to be anything fancy when I asked it, but that's a beautiful description.
I'm a basic guy, and now I'm a basic guy. I mean, years ago I would have said, I'm going out in the sesh, but not now. I'm going home for my Chinese. Do you know what I mean?
I don't even think I'd be able to handle a few drinks now. It's been about 5 years since I've had a proper night out anyway. So.
And it's a night out for me. It's been about 3 years. And do you know what? It's the worst thing ever going out on a night out to a club. Do you know, I can't think of anything worse. That's where the trouble starts. So I can explain the other week. I can't be around people that's looking for trouble. Obviously, the reason why. I'm on my last warning, and I don't want to be going back to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
So,
fair enough.
yeah,
That's another really good way of supporting each other as well,
yeah.
actually, because obviously if you don't really drink or party either, I mean that obviously balances it out both ways. That's really cool, that is, yeah. Staying away from those habits. Because it is, I mean, it's a lot of time and money. Personally, I agree that, I mean, I've been to like a couple of weddings and things where they've been celebrating in the evening, but
Yeah.
in terms of like the proper nights out until like 2, 3 in the morning, it's probably been
Game.
before
Different
before the pandemic for myself. I don't really miss it either. So it's a funny
game.
because partly because you can't really talk to anybody anyway, and then it's
Mm.
just loud and all this. And I just think, I used to think that was cool. Now I'd like to sit
Yeah.
and have a
And
proper
that was
chat.
like,
No, I walk into a pub now, I just feel old because it's all like, you know, young guns out now that
yeah.
Yeah.
just want to drink like we did when we were younger. And it's just not my scene anymore.
It's not just that. I mean, it's just like there's people you don't like in a club, and you got to be around them, pretend you do like them. I'm not a fake person. I can't sit down and do that. I'd rather go into my own company where I'm
Comfortable.
loved and comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we've been talking about some good stuff. So I'll say with this, moving into the last few things, I'm not sure exactly on
okay.
the last 2, 3 things, because I'm aiming for about an hour because people's attention spans and everything is good. We'll see where it goes. But it's going amazing so far and everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, Dean, you're not. I mean, what's this like? Your second one was your first one was with me the other week.
First, everyone's review, and do you know what, Liam? I'll say this out there now before anybody does ask me to do a podcast again. Right? It ain't gonna happen. The only podcast I'm doing is with Liam. I'm stuck to Liam, and I don't want the podcast with anybody else. My stories have been told with Liam, and they're staying with Liam, and that's the end of it. So,
here we go.
Liam.
Well, thank you, mate.
Before they ask, I know there's people out there will ask me this after my first fight. I know they will. I don't want the podcast. I'm not being disrespectful to like. I know I'm actually appealed that they give me a chance to go and tell the story after it, but I don't want the publicity from like fame. I'm doing it for me, and obviously, like I said, with your channel, if my story gets your channel growing and gets you positivity out of this, I'm getting something out of it. I'm helping somebody else. That's all I want to do is help somebody else. I don't want the fame or nothing. The bare knuckles not about fame. It's for me, inside me, the part I got missing for years, which we spoke about. That's all I'm doing it for, and my family.
Yeah.
It's not even about the money. The money, it's not even about that. Obviously, it is nice to have the money side of it, because I get taken away on holidays and wedding, which we are planning on getting done, by the way. But yeah, it's not even about the money. It's just the love I've got for this sport that I've got back. And it's like I said to you today, stronger than ever. I like even sparring tonight when you seen me tonight, yeah. You seen me fight before on the last fight I had 2 years ago. Nothing like I used to be, am I?
No.
The way I'm boxing now, for starters, I shouldn't be saying a lot on you, but I'm outstanding, and I'm not bigging myself up. I'm outstanding compared to what I was like 2 years ago. I'm a totally different guy. I'm sharper. I'm harder for my weight as well. I will say this, Luke, mate, you can have trouble. I'm telling you straight, you can have trouble with it. And Luke, you've seen me from 2019. I'm a different boy now, trust me. To spar 15 minutes in one go tonight, no break. I don't see many boys doing that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't.
Well, it's a good shout out for him. Thank you
Yeah.
for the kind words as well, because I wasn't expecting that. So thank you for that. It's good to give that a mention.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what question I started with there, but I was.
Right, sorry, Liam.
No, don't even worry about that. I'm glad. I love your passion. I mean, this is something, your passion for what you do, passion
love
for
it.
clients, passion for helping kids. And I remember you said before, about the passion. I love it because it just comes over. So don't ever lose that. I mean, it's
No, I
a
won't.
thing to have,
Never again.
I remember what it was. All I was going to say is your first.
Yeah.
Kayleigh, I was going to say well done, because I guess this is the first time you've done something like this. I don't know. But
Yeah.
well done. That's all I say. Well done, guys. Because it's a strange thing if you're not used to it. So Okay, couple of other things then that I gotta mention here. Oh, I have lost track of it. Well, the future is a big part of it, really, because I mean, you said about the wedding and everything, and that one of the things I'm going to ask is about your future plans together. Um, so yeah, future goals, things you'd like to accomplish. Again, this is for both of you, whoever wants to say. But yeah, it'd be good to get a thing on the next steps, basically.
I guess I'll start off in the years there. Huh? Well, first of all, yeah, obviously, my dream I've always to have my own business, and I'd like to open a gym now, to be honest with you. With obviously what's going on in my life now with the bare knuckle and the training people, the kids. I love training kids more than I train the adults, yeah. So that's my dream in a minute, to get my own gym. And the next option after that is obviously the marriage. They're into the kids, they're getting married. And then have an house actually on, no, own an house, not rent, actually own an house. So that's my goal for my life. My kids, my business, and getting married and owning a house and having a proper family, stable family, safe environment for my kids and my partner. That's my goal. I don't know.
In a nutshell, okay. Kayleigh, over to you, because I know you said about the paramedic and the caring for people as a sort of a career goal. But in terms of like your plans together, it's more like obviously the marriage side of things. But yeah, anything you'd add to what Dean said there?
I'm just a take one day as it comes kind of person. Whatever pops up on that day is what I do, what happens. So yeah, just take one day as it comes. Try and enjoy every day that comes.
Yeah.
Just make the most of it.
Yeah. Can you know tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live each day as if it's your last.
Oh yeah, definitely. As I'm doing right now. Do you know what I mean? Getting punched in the face every day. So yeah, it could be my last tomorrow, but we'll get it.
Oh, I love that though, the gratitude. Yeah, gratitude for the simple things every day.
Yeah. I'm definitely a simple person.
Oh,
I'm very easily pleased,
I will say this, Liam, I could go and spend £3 on a pair of earrings. That girl would still pleasure them as if they were £20,000 a pair. Do you know? She's not about money. She's not about this. Do you know? I could literally do nothing and just give her a piece of paper and say thank you on it. She'd adore her. And that's the best thing about this girl. She doesn't want for nothing. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't nag. Like I've had, and I'll just bring this into it, but I've had girls in the past who've took thousands off me. Do you know what I mean? She's never asked for a penny. Do you know what I mean? I can't fault that. And all she's asked for is my support and love, and that's all I'm doing. I will always give after the girl. I always will.
Yeah. Well, that's a lovely way of describing it. I mean, fair play. It really does. I mean, it really does come over that obviously with both of you, just the time together and everything like that. I mean, it's like, something, Deanie, you even, when shortly after we did the interview before, you sent a voice clip and everything, and you said, words to the effect in there. I can't remember exactly what you said. Words to the effect, you're coming home to Kayleigh and she was watching the interview or something. You said, oh, knowing that she's safe and content and loved and type of thing.
Yeah.
You words to that effect, is like enough for you. And you said it to me in a voice clip. And even hearing that, I thought, wow, like that's bloody. I'm going soft over it. That is really,
it did get to me because obviously I was in training now. Bear in mind now, right? When you upload this video, yeah, like I was in training and they come through to my phone notification. Liam's uploaded. I was like, oh, so I rang her straight. I was like, it's live, and she's like, yeah, I'm watching it. I was like, right, I'm being now, save it. I said, pause it now. I said, I'm being now. We watched it together then.
It is. I was actually with you when you done it anyway.
Yeah, she was there when I done it anyway.
Yeah.
There we are. That's brilliant. Wow.
That's me. She was in the gym.
In the podcast, it's like just completely different.
Yeah.
But hearing it on the phone, watching it, even watching it myself, right? I watched it and like I didn't watch it as in that's me. I watched it as if it was somebody else, and I felt every emotion for it. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously the stories I told tonight are true from the bottom of that. Nothing's not true, and it got to me big time. And I will say this now, innit? It's still, I've been only told yesterday, Liam. I've been like over this because it brought back memories. right? And it's good, but it's not bad. It's good because I've realised how much I've come on. I've had people telling me, "You're doing a great thing. You're doing so much better than when we seen you back from me." Like my ex, and I mentioned Pappy again. I'm Pappy. He said, "I'm well done, Dean, mate." He said, "I'm proud of how far you've come and you've got your story out there. Not many men will do what you've done." And he said, "I'm happy for you." And I was like, "Do you know, that's heart touching for me." Do you mean? Because he hadn't long lost his wife, God bless her, rest in peace. And it was just emotional for me to have that from him. Because I started boxing because of him, wasn't it? And then for him to come back and give me our feedback, that was special to me. That was the most important part to him, having that back from him. Because I give everything to him when I box with him. I didn't miss a day. Do you know? And I love that guy to bits, and he knows that, Pappy Jones. Big up respect to you, mate. Because like I said, I wouldn't be the man I am today without everything that's gone on and him starting me off. Wouldn't have. God, amazing man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good to give him a shout out.
Yeah,
I do like giving people shout outs where they've helped people behind the scenes and everything, as you know.
I will give a shout out at the end to somebody that's new, but I will get to that. Big up him for doing it.
Yeah, we will. We will get to that short. We'll get to that soon because,
Yeah,
like I say, we've talked about
yeah,
some good stuff and everything. Let's see. You mentioned quality. No, I think we've talked about a lot of good stuff actually. We've talked about most of the questions I've had. It's only if there's anything that you guys would like to mention that you feel that I've missed, that you think is important in your relationship, in your connection at all. Because I mean, this is the thing, like I said to you at the beginning, I don't want it to be super personal, like every
no,
detail of your life. I mean, because frankly, it's none of my business. But then
yeah,
putting a few things out there that will help people, inspire people and everything. I mean, we've
yeah.
definitely done that and then some. But is there anyone, I mean, if there is anyone you'd like to thank, anyone who's helped the two of you during hard times or anything as well, any other types of things in whatever form it might appear. If not, no worries, but it's just worth giving it a mention, you know.
I will give a big thanks to, and it's mad how we met, but and it doesn't matter, I'll tell you again. But big thanks to Kayleigh, right? She'll be watching this. She supports this girl. Every little problem she got, sometimes she don't want to speak to me because I've done it or I've upset her, but she does talk to me afterwards, obviously. But she rings Kayleigh. So Kayleigh, thank you for being there for her, like a mother to her. And also, big thank you to my new sponsor, which is actually my first ever sponsor. She's a printing company. So if anybody needs any printing, get in touch with her. She's all over my social media. Scorpio printing. She does cups. She does t-shirts, jumpers. And it like, do you know, she's really good at what she does. I'll have to send you the photos as well if you want to put it on you. Do you know what I mean? She's really good at what she does. And a big shout out to the missus for putting up with me, to be honest with you, because there's not many people that can, let me tell you. And my mother knows that, and she'll be watching this again probably. And my mother couldn't put up with me, could her, Mum? But anyway, that's all I'm saying about that.
Absolutely amazing. And Kayleigh, anyone you'd like to mention, or has he pretty much said it for you type of thing in that?
Yeah, he's pretty much said it for me.
Covered it, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, guys, what I'll say once again is just a massive thank you for giving, obviously, not only myself but the people watching this a sort of peek into your lives. I've got a lot of respect for that. It's a personal thing. Like I say, we're all doing it to help people. I'm very, very grateful for your time, and I'm very grateful for you both being open books, basically. I mean, that's the only way I can put it, you know.
And I'm like I said to you today, if there's anybody out there that needs a chat, just message her as well. Obviously, the woman that's going through the same situation with the fight, how she's coping, in other words, with living with me or being with a fighter, yeah? If there's anything, you know, she's open enough to chat. She's quite a talkative girl for text. She'll text all day. So if you want to text her, go ahead, do you know? And it's the same with the men. Do you know what I mean? If they have issues with the relationships, and I'm no therapist. I told you this last time, lads. Women, even those watching it, if you need a chat, I'm here. Do you know what I mean? There's boys in the gym now that's going for issues, yeah. And I'm not going to say names, but one of them had an issue a day, quite close to me. And I sat him down and I said, right, get that off Facebook. She's going to know what worse is now. get that off Facebook. It's going to lead in a lot of trouble. It's going to lead on further things. He listened. He had a sat down. He had a chat. He relaxed. He went home. He spoke to his partner, and it got sorted that night. Do you know what I mean? It's all it takes is take something like that from my past. Then I would have done exactly the same as that about years ago, but I've learned from doing stuff like that because it gets me nowhere.
I just think giving someone 5 minutes of your time can make a huge impact on someone's life.
Yeah.
You know, just either settle them if if they're on one, or if they're thinking of doing something stupid. 5 minutes of just speaking to someone can just make a huge impact.
I will say something to you when this ends, Liam, when you stop recording. But yeah, it's a bit of a thing at a minute. But I'm moving. I'm hopefully once I've come off here, I got to go and sort it out. But yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, we will stop it recording. Stay on the call just a minute though, guys, after I stop. Once again, thank you both for sharing what you've shared and everything, both of you. I really mean
thank you.
Like I said, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to talk. And like I said, I'm going to always support you, Liam, no matter what. Yeah. Like I said, you every share, I share everything of yours. I love the content. I love it. Do you know when you start talking about your little quotes, like your relationship one the other day, that one, I love that one.
Yeah,
I shared that. I was like, do you know what? This guy have got a brain, and you have, Liam. Do you mean you speak sense, which a lot of people these days don't speak it. Do you know what I mean? They talk, but they don't make it real.
Yeah, well, it's what that is. I'll tell you quickly, and then we'll have just us. But one thing with that is, the reason I do that is when I'm putting the wisdom and the stuff out there, I don't know all the answers. I'm not a perfect person. Stuff, but taking it back to the basics, always bringing everything back to the basics, like when you're teaching people boxing or something, it's only got so many fundamentals, and then everything can build on that, like with life, the way I look at it is, it's like you can overthink things, you can make problems very big, and it gets but actually you just always got to bring it back to the basics all the time. And that's with that relationship one, is just bring it back to the basics, and
back to the basics. Exactly what I tell the boys when they come into the gym. Like the boys that start with me, take them back to the basics. It's the same with anything in life. You go back to the basics, get it done.
Yeah, good foundations, and this is why these things stick. Like when people ride a bike and you get back on a bike and they say, "Oh, you never forget," because and this is the thing with boxing. Just an example for life. Yeah, taking it back to the foundations. Everything's built on the foundations. So when I'm putting stuff out there about life, all I'm actually trying to do, and even with this, we're actually in a funny type way taking things back to the basics, but in a really good way, about how our love grows. My mother said something to me once where I was having a really bad day, and I said something about the simple things in life. And she said, "No, it's not the simple things in life." She said, "The simple things are life," in the sense that everything is built on that, And even
so that's where you get that's where you get your knowledge of the way you're talking. It's from your mum.
Both my parents, and it's a mix of things. It's a mix of things. Some of it's from my parents, very very good people like that. Some of it's from all the different types of people I meet with my job and my work, all walks of life. Some of it's just from my life experiences, because I just try and learn from everything I go through, as good or bad or whatever. So it's a mix of things, But
I learn off you. Like I said, I watch your videos. I learn wisdom from your videos. I believe it or not, I'm not sucking up to your mind. It might seem that to everybody else. No. It's not. It's the truth. I watch your videos and I learn by the podcast of their stories. I learn that they are true stories. What you say actually when you talk on camera, like you do on your own. I learn what you say, wisdom. During like that relationship one stuck in me the other day, and I was like, he's accurate. You speak sense. That's basically it.
It's just old school values, really. No one talks about anymore. No one thinks there exists.
Yeah.
It's just something really that your nan and your granddad had that you want, but no one actually thinks they can get it. And
what gets to me is a lot of relationships these days, they'll have an argument, they'll go out and get pissed or drunk and go and cheat on each other. Do you mean it doesn't make sense? Just go home and talk to you. I go for a walk, I go for a run. Like,
I think it's the Facebook statuses that get me.
Oh,
You know, when someone puts on that they've had an argument,
Yeah.
oh, it's me and the kids from now on. Or, you know, so and so has done this, and then 5 minutes later it's been removed and they put up a picture that they're so happy.
yeah.
And you think
It's mad, isn't it?
it's just airing your dirty laundry. Isn't
There we
it?
go again. Social media has got a lot to do with all these relationship things these days. It have, but we'll go into another day maybe, Liam. But I think I don't want to carry you on too much because I know I could talk forever.
No, it's a good. I mean, well, saying that because I think there could even be an episode 2 here. But for now, we've talked about some really good stuff. Kayleigh, yeah, I love that. Old school values, as you said, you don't have. I mean, this is the thing. Even with what we're talking about here, why is it that generation had these marriages that lasted? You know, I mean, my gran passed away last year. My gran has about 60 years together. You know, and you know, and you think like, you know, why do you not see that now? Well, because people are not using the simple things, the old school values. So I'm glad you said that because they work. They've stood the test of time. They work, you know. So it's a good. That's a good one to close out on. That.
Yeah, it's my nan and grandpa's relationship was so old school. You know, they'd been together since they were young.
But she's mad, isn't she, now?
Yeah, my granddad was one of the best people I knew. So. Yeah, it's like old school values, things you don't appreciate. You know, people are so quick to judge a book by its cover now.
You see a lot.
You know, you can't do anything these days without someone jumping down your throat.
It's like that story I put out there.
Yeah.
I know there's people judge me, but they won't have the balls to judge me in person. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna have it. I expect them. But the thing is, the ones who know me actually respect me. Because I've spoken about it. I've never been able to. You're the ones giving me the option to speak about it, and I did. But the ones who don't respect it, don't watch it, because it doesn't bother me. I just want this for the people that actually love and support me, and that's actually my friends as well. So if you don't like me, don't watch my podcast with Liam. Don't. Carry on doing your thing.
As long as you're honest, and you're honest with yourself, and you're honest about everything you've done, then there's nothing really anyone can say that can harm you.
Exactly that, because obviously
there's no one can say anything about you, like, you know, you've done this, you've done that in your past, because you've openly admitted it yourself. So,
but exactly, obviously, because the upcoming fights with the bare knuckle, it's quite out there, isn't it? You're gonna have that one hater that's gonna go, he used to be a nasty man. Yeah, I was an aggressive man years, but you know what? It was a lot of things that caused that aggression, and what we spoke about. So yeah, as you can see now, all right, still got a fire inside me, but it's used in a different way. I'm doing it in a good way. Yeah, I'm not out in the street like half of them.
Yes, and I think most people are in denial, but they think, oh, I'd never do something like that. You know, everyone has that aggression in them, from the smallest thing to the largest thing. It can only take it can only take a split second. You know, for you to do something which, you know, you'll regret later in life. Of course. You know, nobody's perfect.
No.
You know, but I think everyone these days are quick to throw stones at glass houses.
I've had a few stones thrown me. That doesn't bother me. I'm mad skin now. And it used to affect me years ago. Yeah, you know what, I've told you that. But now, say what you want, do what you want. It doesn't affect me. As long as my family's safe and happy and warm and eat and fed, I don't care. Yeah.
Oh, listen, wise words at the end of this, guys. I'm well happy. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.